today I'm just gonna be recording videos. I'm gonna get my ass up in the morning. I'm gonna do my other online job. I'm gonna get my ass over here and I'm gonna come on the YouTube. Okay, so you go ahead and subscribe now because I do plan on slowing down. Okay, so now I want to talk about I want to talk about trucking, like why I stopped trucking. Okay, because as you can see, I'm not afraid. I'm not trucking. I haven't been trucking, and I've been doing some other things and some unsavory things, but no. But oh, let me see. Y'all like my dress? Look, I have this one, and it's a one that's like purple. I think it was like just a purple rose. This guy in Houston was selling a whole lot of dresses. I had a storage in Houston, and on the north side, and this was, oh, when was this? I moved into my apartment. I met this guy. It was in it probably was 2017. 2017, so I moved into my new place, and I needed to, it could have been before that. He ended up helping me move into my place, and he packed all my stuff up in his little pickup truck, and it just reminded me of oh, we're moving on up. It reminded me of the good times. Because I packed all my stuff up, and then we was riding on the highway going over to the west side of Houston, and I just felt like I was moving on up. So yeah, this man, he had a whole storage, and I feel like he probably was living in there at one point. But he had all these beautiful dresses, and you know what? Actually, I was gonna, if I can find all the dresses, I don't even know. Some of them, I wore them out. But he had a whole lot of dresses, and was, you know, they was hanging up in his thing, and so I gave him some business. I bought some of his dresses and stuff, and um, yeah, so we became friends and stuff like that, and he ended up helping me move out of my storage. Older black guy, and yeah, that's pretty much what it was. I will say I do regret not paying him more for helping me move, because he helped me move the furniture in and all and that stuff, but I didn't think. I mean, we were friends. I didn't think that he was just gonna charge me an arm and a leg. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I gave him $100, but I probably should have gave him 200. You know what I'm saying? But back then, was I even working? Shit, yeah, I was working, but I don't know. Anyway, that's where this came from. And I had another one too. I have two of these, but anyway. Yeah. So why I stopped trucking? So when I was in California, I went out to California around like 2019, and then I ended up working for this company. It was run by Latin couple, sorry, I don't Hispanic couple, and I'm usually pretty good with, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, I was working for them. I think they were like husband and wife or something like that, and yeah, so I would just go like from California to Texas and, you know, back. I pretty much went where I wanted. But I broke down, and I think some of y'all might remember that video that I did when I broke down and I had that red truck, and I was stuck in Roswell, New Mexico, of all places, for like a week. And a strange thing happened to me. I was going to the store, and I had some money. I had $1 in my pocket. I had $1. I wasn't going to buy anything with the dollar. I just had $1 in my pocket, and as I was walking down the street, um, it disappeared. Like I left the house I left the hotel because they had me up. I was at the Motel 6. The whole time I was waiting on the truck to get fixed, and the dollar, I left out with the dollar, and then when I went in my pocket, it was gone. So it must have been the aliens. I don't know what happened, but so yeah. So around that time, that's the company that I was working for, and I would go out back east, and every time we would have something that needs to be fixed, I would have to come back to California. I didn't mind because I needed the miles anyway, and but it just became too much. I started to break down a lot, and it just was. I was just like, what the hell am I doing? And then I would have to like wait on fuel. It would wait like until like sometimes the next day to just get fuel, and then that would throw me off my trip. And so one time I ended up in Oklahoma City and I couldn't get fuel. I was reaching out to them, but nobody was replying. So I'm assuming they were trying to come up with the money for me to fuel or something, or I don't understand. But I ended up waiting. I think I stayed a whole weekend in in Oklahoma City, and so I met this guy who's a dear friend of me now. Um, oh, so I ended up going out to his place. I can't remember how many acres he had, but he had some cows and stuff. And so after that, I think once I got back in the truck and they finally got me fuel and I went back to California, I just quit. And then I hopped in my car. I had a red Mazda at the time, a red Mazda 6. I missed that car. Mazda 6 Sport. And I was in Fontana, California, and then I ended up, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna go north, and I'm gonna explore NorCal, Oregon, Washington, and I'm just gonna go on a trip. Yeah, so that's what I did. And so um, I did that, and then I just was, doing a little traveling and stuff like that, and doing my own thing for a couple of years. But well, really for like a year. I took a year off from trucking, and then once I moved back, well, no, I went back to SoCal. I would go back to SoCal periodically, and then I met someone and started dating, and then I was like, well, I'm moving back to Houston. Like, California, I just was over it, and at the time, Houston, Texas was my safe space. So I was like, well, I'm gonna move back, and so he went with me, and but anyway, so I took a year off. I went back to a smaller company once I got to Houston, and the relationship really messed that job up because it was good paying job, and but had an apartment. We ended up getting a place, and I wanted to be home, and so it totally just threw me off of my game and my hustle, and so I could have made good money with that job, and I ended up leaving. But anyway, but it seems like after that I was unable to get hired again, and it was like the I did have a couple of tickets in 2020, but that's kind of the reason why I wanted to take the time off, because I wanted my tickets to fall off and all that. But it was just seems like the last couple of years that I've been applying, it's like nothing has been happening. And that's very strange because I've never applied for a job with my CDL and never got a call back, or never just went to work immediately. So that was kind of off putting. Like, what's going on? And hmm, it was just it's always like a reason as to why I can't get hired. And I was gonna go work for this company, Super Ego, but I've seen so many um, bad comments and reviews, and I was watching Pinky on YouTube, and she was having over there, and she was saying that she had to end up taking their truck back because they was, messing up her money. And so this is one of my owner operator friends or tell me maybe I should just go work for them just for 6 months or something to get me, back into the game. But with me and my experience, I started driving in 2014, so that's another thing I don't like about the industry. You take 1 year off or 6 months, not even that. They was like, you take 6 months off, it's like you gotta restart over. That's what the guy from Ashley Furniture told me. He was like, you gotta start back over. I'm like, really? So yeah, I'm like, start back over. Truck driving, honestly, is like riding a bike. It really is. If you're driving for years and years and years, like 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and you think I'm just gonna take 6 months off and then I'm just don't know how to drive again, that's stupid. Like, that's really stupid. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, nobody drives a truck for 8 years and then take a year off and then don't know how to drive a truck again. So it's like people just they pick and choose like the industry politics, and they pick and choose who they want to hire, and who they put through the ringer. Of course, people who are male and don't look like me don't have a problem ever finding a job. Not as far as little things that I'm dealing with, I don't feel like other people are dealing with that, especially the people that have experience. The men that have experience, they're not dealing with that. They're just being, you know, hired. They claim it's a truck driver shortage, but I never believed that because I mean, as the years go on, it becomes harder and harder to find um, parking, and it's just sad. So I don't know. I never believed that. But if there is a shortage, I see why y'all are passing up quality drivers because you wanna, play games and like people gotta deal with the stupid ass politics and all that. I shouldn't have to deal with that. If you look at my resume and see how much experience I have, that should be it. Like, what else is there other than if I have had an accident, killed anybody or something like that? No. Haven't had no accidents, just a couple of tickets, and those tickets are falling off. They always move, and then another reason is they always move the goalposts. It's like if you say no more than 3 tickets in the last 3 years, or no more than 3 moving violations in the last 3 years, and I have two, during that time frame, had to during that time frame, what's the problem in hiring me? You know, I don't have more than three. That's your rule that you set, but see, they always move the goalposts, and then it's like, oh, we can't hire you because you have these two. But the law, I mean, the law of the land is like more than three. They always move the goalposts. You never know what it is, and so, um, yeah. And then I ended up coming back to LA, and then I started to, do pursue acting and stuff like that, which is really, one of my first loves. So now I'm like, okay, I'm not really even butthurt about that anymore. So, um, I pretty much have been doing some other stuff online. I've been camming and stuff like that, so I'm not ashamed of that. It's putting food on my table. It's paying my bills when I'm consistent. So yeah, I'm just like I've always wanted to be able to work from anywhere and be able to travel and stuff like that. So trucking was not always. It's not something that I was always gonna do. It was just something that was actually just temporary. Um, so at this point, I'm not saying I'll never get back in a truck, but I have other things that are more important that I need to um, pursue. So, yeah. So if that answers the question why I stopped trucking, and then I took the year off because I was burnt out. So burnt out, going all those years being on the road, and I mean, I did some local and dedicated in between there, but yeah, I think that it was needed, and then it gave me a chance to really think about what I want with my life, what I want to do with my life, and I don't think that includes the road unless I'm just traveling with my own, you know, just traveling because I want to travel, not because I have to travel for work. So, so are there any truckers out there? Would you ever get into trucking? I would say I don't have anything bad to say about it. I loved it.